Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I'm going to be doing some Airsoft teching, in that I'm going to be kind of like building a new gun. And when I say I'm building a new gun, I'm not actually kind of like taking all the individual components that I randomly kind of got around the place and then putting them into a new gun. No. I am taking two pre-existing guns that I have, and I'm going to be swapping some parts over in order to make a gun which I would really like. The reason why I'm doing this is, as far as I'm aware, there isn't actually a config available for this kind of rifle setup, which should hopefully make it, I guess, quite unique, and I think it will look quite pretty and perform quite well too. Now, the riff I'm talking about, or the riff that's going to be the base for this build, is the KWA Mod 1. And as you can see, I've already been playing around with it a little bit, and I think this looks absolutely sick. I love the look of this with the long ass suppressor on it, but the only downside I found with the current kind of setup is when I run this, my hand positioning kind of wants to be a little bit, you know, not ideal, I would say. So you have got the handguard here, so you'd kind of like, you know, be holding it like this or have a vert grip there, but for me, my comfortable kind of like space is more kind of like up here. But this doesn't feel nice. I don't like holding this bottom like Picatinny rail that I've got on there. It's just a bit fat and not that kind of like nice. And I don't like the fact that I'm kind of like holding the suppressor on the end. The other kind of thing which I'm kind of like aware of is all of my builds, all of my rifles, when I upgrade them, I put in longer barrels, and they're just kind of like floating in the suppressor at the end there. So the suppressor is kind of like acting like a like kind of like outer barrel, like an extended outer barrel to like protect the barrel. But what I find is, like in this rifle here, there is a little bit of play in the barrel. Like, I can wobble that around from side to side. Now, I can kind of like reduce that play by, you know, wrapping this in PTFE tape and doing like, you know, different little bits like that. But ultimately, there's little bits of play in there, and I'm never going to make it perfect unless I'm using an outer barrel from a rifle which is designed to have a longer barrel in there, and it's going to hold it completely still, you know, from the end. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, you may or may not know that on the Project Airsoft website, there's a variety of drum mags on there which you can get. There's drum mags on there for the Mod 1, the Mod 2, soon to be the Mod 3, and also the TK45. The Mod 1, the Mod 2, and the Mod 3, which I have here, they all have the same front end. It's a 6-inch outer barrel with handguard to match. So they're all quite short. However, the one that is quite different is the TK45, which I have here. And as you can see, it actually has the longer handguard and outer barrel. And for me, this feels really comfortable. Like, this is the perfect length. And actually, the little Picatinny rail at the end there acts like a little hand stop for my finger. You can see there, like it's stopping it. So what I want to do is put the handguard from this and the outer barrel from this onto my Mod 2. Because I've actually fallen kind of a bit smitten for my Mod 2, and I'm very surprised about that, because I've not actually really come across an SMG or a non-M4 based rifle which has really, like, you know, kind of caught my eye, whereas the Mod 1 has kind of done that. I love the fact it's got the kind of like SMG style magazines. Yeah, these stick mags, I absolutely love them. They are only 80 rounds, but I feel like this as an aesthetic is something I can really get behind. And on the odd occasion where I need to have more BBs in my riff, like if I don't want to carry a load of 80 round magazines, then of course there is the Project Airsoft drum mag, which holds over, what is it, 1400, over 1200 rounds. So that is also an option on there. And again, this aesthetic, I am really behind. I think that looks really sick. So I am in a little bit of two minds on this. One of them is leaving this as it is and just putting an extended inner barrel in there. So you kind of like using up the space and yeah, just making this have a longer inner barrel. The other option that I have is taking this and putting that onto the rifle itself, and then kind of like running this instead. But I don't know which aesthetic I prefer, although part of me is like, I prefer this aesthetic, but I want to have the hand, you know, kind of like space here, because this feels much more comfortable to me. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation to be in, to know what is going to be best. Now, lucky for me, I also do have the Mod 3, as I said earlier, and what my plan is to take the handguard and outer barrel from the TK45 and mount it onto the upper receiver of the Mod 3, so then I can just swap the upper receiver and handguard, like whole upper receiver part, onto my Mod 2 body, and then I can see which one I prefer, you know, which version, yeah, just see which version I prefer, and then that one can stay on there as a more permanent kind of like fixture to the rifle. So without further ado, let's get the teching done. Now in an ideal world, I could just use the upper receiver and handguard like this in one piece and take that off and put it onto the Mod 2. But unfortunately, the upper receiver on the TK45 is slightly too long, which is why I have to take this off and put it on the upper receiver of the Mod 3 instead. So that is now the TK45 upper receiver off. I've got the outer barrel there, the handguard there. There is one extra thing I need to do though before I can put all these parts together, and that is I need to swap the hop units over, because if you look at these, you can see the TK45 one is very different to the Mod 3 one, which is also the same as the Mod 1 one. So I need to swap those over, and when I swap these over, I'm also going to upgrade the hop rubber to my Promi Purple, which I do in all of my AEGs, because these hop rubbers are just so very good. It also looks like I'm going to have to swap out this brass part of this and this one here. There's cutouts in here for the hop unit to go into to keep it aligned, so hopefully these are exactly the same and aren't going to cause any issue. Unfortunately, the grub screws that came with it stick out a tiny little bit too far, which is stopping me from getting the nut onto there. But luckily, I've got a big old box of a load of different grub screws, so I'm replacing them out with shorter ones, and hopefully that's going to let me get this back on. Hey, look at that, perfect. Those grub screws worked a treat, and that is solid as hell. Right, let's finish this off and get it on the Mod 1. So, oh, poopy puss. Hello. Cat break. Hello. We are pretty much on there now. Where's a mag? And let's see what we prefer. Because if this is sick, then I might leave this as it is. And to be fair, that does look pretty cool. I mean, I know I'm very much like, you know, I want it to be functional. It's more important for me to something to, you know, like work good as opposed to, you know, just like look cool. But to be honest with you, this does look really sick. Like, and it looks very different as well. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this out there, you know. Like, ideally it would be a little bit shorter for where I do like CQB situations, but the great thing about this is because I have this upper receiver built out here, and of course I'll need to take the suppressor off it, I can just run this if I want to run a short kind of more CQB built up gun, which is, you know, kind of like the point of this build. But that does look really cool, and it genuinely, I'm so surprised that the barrel kind of comes out at the end, but I guess maybe because of the hop unit the barrel sits in a slightly different place, which, you know, in my head kind of like it does make sense. So yeah, I guess that's fine. And having a little bit of a suppressor on there is going to take some of the snap out of the sound too, so, you know, all in all, it's not an absolutely terrible thing, and this does look pretty sick, to be fair. I've never really found myself in Airsoft, you know, really wanting to be in a position where I've got like something that's, you know, like unique and very different, and like, you know, not like anything else that's out there. But in this kind of scenario, I actually really like the fact that I don't think anyone else is actually going to have this kind of setup. As far as I'm aware, the only way you can have this setup is if you buy a Mod 1 and a TK45, purely just to take the handguard and the outer barrel out of the TK45 to put onto this. And you know what? I absolutely love that aesthetic. That just looks so cool, and it's really comfortable too. And oh, yeah, I actually really like that. Oh, and I've just realised as well, as a byproduct of this, I now have a stubby TK45. Isn't that cute? But we need to do a comparison between the two to see which one we prefer the aesthetic of. So, up here we have got the TK45 handguard and outer barrel on the Mod 1, and below we have got the Mod 1 outer barrel with the extended suppressor on there as well. You can see there's not actually much difference in terms of overall length of the riffs when you look at them next to each other. It's mainly the aesthetic, but this is what we're looking at. Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer between these two. Now for me, the difference between the two, it's really hard to tell which is my favourite, because they offer different things. The version with the TK45 upper offers the ergonomics of it. It offers that kind of like, you know, usability kind of performance upgrade, I suppose you could call it, of being able to hold, or for me to be able to hold the handguard in the exact position that I would like to hold it in, which is comfortable. It gives me more real estate for me to, you know, put accessories on and things like that. However, having it set up, you know, kind of like short and stubby, again with the longer suppressor on there, aesthetically, oh, it's just so pretty. Like, I love the look of the riff set up in this, like especially with the sling as well. It makes it feel very kind of like, you know, Special Forces-esque, and yeah, there's something really, really cool about that. Like, it's a shame that holding it like this just isn't as comfortable for me. Like, if this felt really comfortable, then I'd probably keep it in this configuration, but I kind of want to have my arm a bit more further out. And of course, having it set up in that config, I get the longer outer barrel on there as well, which is something which, yeah, is a real benefit to have. So, yeah, honestly, I really don't know which between the two I prefer. So I guess we're going to have to do, you know, a test between the two. We will get these out in the range. We will do tests. We will see which one of them fires better. If either of them do beat each other, we'll see which one is more comfortable, which one just like looks better, sounds better. And hopefully from there, that'll give us our decision. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one you prefer, because this aesthetic does look sick. However, that on here is ultra unique, and that is also something which I really like too. Thank you very much for watching this video. It's been an absolute pleasure with you here today. Make sure you go check out Project Airsoft for like upgrades, accessories, things like that. Like I said earlier, with these magazines, they only hold 80 rounds, but the Project Airsoft drum mag holds over 1200. So if you want to run your rifle with, you know, without reloading, then the drum mag is something for you. We do them for the TK45, the Mod 1, the Mod 2, and the Mod 3 is coming. So all of you who are messaging me for the Mod 3 magazine, don't you worry, they are on their way. Huge shout out to all my patrons as well for supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much, month on month supporting. We're only a few days away now from doing the live stream giveaway, which I believe should be this Friday, if the dates all line up correctly in my head. Everybody who's like been a patron up until this time will be entered into this giveaway if you're in the Legend or the Royalty tier. And if you want to be in the giveaway for next month, join the Airsoft Legend tier, join the Airsoft Royalty tier. The Royalty tier gets you an extra patch every month as well, which is, you know, pretty swanky, I must say. And if you're looking for some Airsoft friends to play Airsoft with and just generally chat and hang out for Airsofty things, check out the StayFreshShoe Airsoft Community Discord, linked in the description below. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.